Hey everybody, it's Ozark Pepper 1. Sorry I haven't made any videos, but I've been pretty busy and haven't seen a lot of daylight. And when I do see daylight, I'm usually tired or it's usually pretty hot. So I stay in to kind of avoid the insects and just the heat pretty much, because I'm in the heat a lot. But being out and about sometimes during the day, throughout the week, I've noticed a change in people, and I think a lot of the change in the people is the fact that so many people have moved into areas that they're not from. Like, it's not like moving from one rural community to another. These people are coming from cities into a rural setting, and then they try to bring their city lifestyle into the rural area. So they don't just move into an old country house and keep it country. They don't stay humble. They try to bring that city concrete and vinyl, all the things that we kind of detest living in the country. They try to bring all of that here, and they bring their vehicles that we don't really use in this area, because, well, in the country you don't need a Mercedes or a BMW. You just don't need those things, especially in bad weather, or if you plan on doing any kind of work. We've got a lot of pretend farmers. We've got a lot of people that's got a mindset that they feel the need that they have to cut down the trees, and that's wasteful. There's a lot of guys that do it just because it makes them feel like a man, but I don't see why cutting your shade down makes you a man. It might make you a man with sunburn, or a man who has no source of heat in the wintertime. Because if you cut down a tree that's 50 years old, 100 years old, well, it's going to take 100 years from now for that to come back. And to do it for any little excuse. I understand when they're rotten, or a tree has died, they have to come down for safety reasons and for just not to let it go to waste. I understand that. But I see people do that. I see them move from the city, and immediately I think that's what they need to be doing, is turn their place into one big field or something. Like they're going to be some agricultural machine. Like they're just going to live off the land and live off the cattle. Like they're going to just fill the place full of cattle. They all think that. And what happens is they make a little money from their trees that they wasted. And then they find out they don't like the place anymore, then they leave. And then they sell it to someone else. And then the place is ruined. There's no more shade, no more trails, none of that stuff anymore. It's just a big wide open deserted land. And another thing I've seen them do is they'll move to the country and they'll tear down the old farmhouse that was there for a couple hundred years, and it's beautiful. It's still got that old charm to it, and they'll tear it down and they'll put in for a longest time in the 1980s and 90s, they would throw in like a modular or a mobile home or something. I was like, why would you do that? It totally ruin the place when they do that. But I see, this arrogance that's in America as its destruction. It's not like the past where people were more rugged, they were more sustainable on their own. They didn't have to just destroy the land to survive. They didn't have to do that. They took what they needed and they left the land as it was. That's the motto we were taught as kids, that was supposedly taught to us by the Native Americans. But it's just one of those things that disgusts me in this life. It seems like no matter what man does, when man falls into a rut and society breaks down, nature pays the price. And I think if man had nature in the back of his mind as he lives his life, it would help man in his own life. And man would not be in those pitfalls and not making nature pay the price. Anyway, that's a quickie. So, y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Ozark Prepper 1 out.